Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody being here. So, like John said, oh my gosh, it's a hot mic.
Test, test, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can everybody hear? Okay.
Yes. Was told to, okay. Is that better? All right. Well, appreciate it. No, it is very warm in here, so just bear with us. But again, my name is April Lebo. I am the Vice President of Demand and Development for Probo Medical. But for today, I'm going to be Agent A. So sticking with the Men in Black theme for any of you that saw the movie, hopefully this will all make sense. But then my co-sponsor here.
Yeah, my name is Silas. I'm a Director of Biomedical Engineering for Phoebe Putney in Albany, Georgia. Also dubbed as Agent Z, Men in Black.
So we asked you guys to come in and sit on the side of the room with your corresponding planet. Didn't give you a lot of information outside of what was on the screen. But what made you decide to sit on the side that you did? Does anybody have a reason why they chose a particular planet?
You sit on this side?
By who? So let's ask this. So gentlemen, what made you decide on sit on the side of the small pink planet? Well, but this was up here originally. So what made you decide to sit over on the pink side?
I'll throw it out there. Because it says Mars, Venus.
Okay.
Mars on the left, Venus on the right.
Okay. Did anybody stumble? Did anybody think twice about what side they were sitting on? And any particular reason?
Yeah. Well, we have men still sitting on this side. Is there a reason why y'all are sitting over there? It's what? What'd he say?
It's not me. So we weren't technically correct with the actual pictures of the planets, but the whole point to this, and hopefully you will get that, we have all been conditioned since birth to think pink being a woman's color, blue being a male color. So we were very interested to see if we just left this up here, what side you would automatically think to go to. And honestly, I was really hoping, how many show of hands, how many will members do we have in this room? And our color is? So I was hoping that was going to be a given, but you just never know. So again, our goal today is to kind of talk through some of the stereotypes that you see. We've all grown up and been conditioned is a strong word, but through our parents, through family, culture, religion, where you grew up, we all were raised believing certain things, but we're going to talk through some of those stereotypes today and see how we can all come together and figure out better ways to communicate and work together. So we are going to, I don't know, for those of you that are in the way back of the room, if you can scan this QR code. If not, we've got some copies, but if you could take out your phones and scan this. Zach, do you want to tell them what they need to do, Mr. Agent?
Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to scan, make sure everybody can scan the QR code.
And it should bring up the question on your phone.
And if you're having a hard time scanning in the back, they also have sheets back there where you can actually scan.
And one word to describe, and don't overthink it. We got 1 minute. One word to describe society's expectations of how men should behave.
We got strongly, strong, brave, stoic. Leader, provider, assertive, gentleman, grown up, not emotional, unemotional, emotionless, assertive.
I don't know if anybody's done Slido before, But if somebody picks the same word more than once, it gets bigger. So that's why you'll see a difference in the size.
Yeah. Looks like strong is taking the lead right now.
Mhm. Do you have your phone with you? By any chance, you want to take a picture?
Sure.
So again, society's expectations, when you think of a man, what words come to mind? And not surprising, strong, provider, unemotional, assertive, for me, dominant, domineering, confident. Yeah. All right. So we're going to do this again. Keep your phones out.
All right.
Scan the QR code.
Yep. This one word that reflects society's expectation on how women are to behave.
So let's see what kind of words we get for women. I look perfect.
A nurturing, nurturer, strong, delicate, giving, poised, compassionate, resilient, multitasker, charismatic, emotional, nice, caring, giving, loyal, non-confrontational, submissive, gentle, empathetic, kind, listener if possible, good cook. That's 2 words. Trustworthy. Nurturing is taking the cake, right?
Mhm.
Feeble.
Oh.
Wash dishes. That is not one word.
All right. But obviously, you can see quite a difference in terms of the feel of the words, what kind of the overreaching, again, feel of how women are thought of or expected to behave in society versus some of the words that we saw for men: strong, leader, dominant, assertive. Very different feel. So again, our goal today is to talk through, especially in this industry, we don't see, even though times are changing, a lot of women in the biomed departments. It's not a completely diverse industry. So how do we come together and work better together, communicate better when we have grown up believing certain things about the other sex? How can we come together and be more productive and have more success when we find ways to work together?
And there's one more thing I want to add too. Now, how many women are in here? Raise your hands. How many men? Raise your hand. Are there more men than women in here? How many people responded more? Is it more women that responded than men? Because I see people were still, the answers were still coming in while she was talking. So again, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Good.
Mhm. So we're going to play a little game, Agent Z and I, called Misconception versus Reality, and talk through some of, again, those stereotypes that we see and are felt between the differences of men and women. So Agent Z, there is a misconception versus reality that men are direct and women are indirect.
That's right. Misconception number 1, men always say exactly what they mean while women beat around the bush. The reality is both genders can be direct or indirect depending on context, relationship, dynamics, and cultural background and personality. Agent A is going to tell us a little bit about women are being emotional while men are more logical.
So obviously a big misconception out there that women can't communicate without being emotional, or they bring emotion into everything, where men are very logical, they're very sticking to the facts. But that isn't necessarily the case. Men can bring emotion into their conversations, and it doesn't always have to be anger. And women can get to the facts. They can be very logical when speaking, but it just very much depends on the circumstance and what the situation is. So it's not black and white. So again, if you're in a situation where you are too afraid to speak to one of your female counterparts because you're afraid they're going to get emotional, or it could be a highly emotional situation, so you're trying to avoid we don't need to utilize that stereotype that you can't because it's going to be emotional. See,
You
men
put the car baby up there?
men can be emotional. So agency, there's misconception versus reality that men interrupt more because they are dominant.
Well, misconception number 3, all male interruptions are not power plays. Men do interrupt more in mixed gender environments, but the intent varies. Some of the interruptions are supportive, not just dominance. Women also interrupt, though they may do so to establish rapport, to build rapport. All right. AJ is going to talk about women using more tag questions and hedges because they lack confidence.
So is it true that women do use more taglines, more hedges? Do you mind if I just ask a question? Sorry to interrupt, but does that mean that women lack confidence because they do that? No. It is just a sign of empathy in a lot of cases, want to make sure they're including everyone in the conversation, but it doesn't automatically mean, the misconception, that women aren't as confident just because they use some of those taglines. So again, great exercise with some of those misconceptions out there that I think a lot of people internalize and can disrupt being able to work together. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do a little workshop. So we are still on our segregated planets. I don't know there. If you're not, this is going to be a little bit easier if we do have men over there, if you could move over here, because this is kind of a social experiment. But what we're going to have you do is break out into teams. So if you want to just turn around and kind of work together at your tables. And our first workshop here, has anyone ever assumed that you would or would not do a job or a task because of your gender? So we're going to take about 5 minutes, 8 minutes, talk amongst yourselves. You want to group up into like group of 6, 8, and talk through this. And then we're going to bring it back and see what kind of answers we have and how they differentiate between men and women. Are you guys handling the heat okay? See, we got our fans out.
Uh-huh.
Do you understand the question, B? Okay. You guys workshopping? Workshopping, Dirk?
Yeah. It's okay. No,
Be sure to bring that up in front of the big group. You guys got some good stuff? Good. Are you going to be willing to say them out loud? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, 1 more minute.
Hey, how's it going? What about y'all? Has anybody ever assumed you would do something because you were gender? No. Stupid.
All right, are we ready to pull it back?
All right, everybody ready to go?
And you can stay in your groups because we've got another workshop after this one. So does anybody have an example that they are comfortable sharing of how someone assumed you would or would not do something based on your gender? Yes, Miss Jewel.
We've been in rooms where the people in the room didn't think that we could do, where they've asked for a man
Mhm.
because they saw us as women and didn't want us to touch their equipment. So we actually had to show them what we could do so they can see that we are more than capable. We've never flinched from a job.
So let me ask this to this side of the room, going over to Mars. Have you guys ever been in an instance where somebody assumed you couldn't fix the equipment because you were a man? No? Okay. Okay.
It was not that we couldn't fix the equipment. It was more a situation of not being the right person to go into a room. For example, it was mentioned the OBGYN
Okay.
while the patient is in the room.
Yep. Makes sense. Anybody have another example? Anything else they want to share? Yes, Miss Kim.
So while you were traveling, people, if you have children at home, people ask who's babysitting your children.
Yep.
The dad doesn't need to babysit.
Yes, B. Right. Zach. Right.
I know they always assume that since I'm the male, I should cut the grass.
Oh,
You should cut the grass.
Oh,
Okay, that's what I said too, because people always say, man, your husband's grass looks great. And I'm like, thank you. I actually do it.
Another one we discussed is note taking in meetings. The woman is always asked to take notes. I've never seen a man asked to take notes. And we were talking about the effect of that. It really alienates that person from being part of the conversation. So it's really kind of, in a disparity in a way.
Forget it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
that is a great example. So let me come back over here to Mars. How many times have the men in the room been in a meeting where you've been asked to take the notes?
That doesn't
Yes?
exist.
Okay. All right. Did you have one?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Just flashing back to when I was younger, have you ever assumed you wouldn't do a job? So I never would have assumed that I would be a flight attendant.
Mhm.
Is that what it's called? It's flight stewardess.
Yep.
One of those don't work anymore. My wife told me.
Oh, okay.
Stewardess, okay. Flight attendant or school nurse. You just thought those were women jobs.
So again, great examples, and the whole context of this, guys, is just to keep in mind that it doesn't make anybody right or wrong, and how this can happen unconsciously, and the effect that it might have on somebody else, and how it might be viewed or seen or felt by the opposite sex with you not even realizing it or knowing it. So we've got another workshop while we are still on our individual planets. Agent Z, do you want to walk us through that one?
all right, workshop number 2, handling conflict. Share some typical responses to handling conflict that you have seen both by men and women.
So what are the differences? Talk amongst yourselves and we'll bring her back. I'm glad she didn't hear that. Covering my mic, anxious to come over here to see what this side of the
Oh, man.
All right, one more minute. Did I just hear crazy women? All right, are we ready to bring it back?
Did y'all have any shortage of content?
Not over here. Oh, well, I can't wait to hear the real.
All right, who wants to share first?
Oh, way in the back, Zach.
All the way in the back, let's go.
So when women talk and speak, sometimes we just want to vent. We don't want you to fix it.
Mhm. Yep.
That's so, oh my God, that's a good one.
Anybody else? Differences in responses to handling conflict that you've seen in terms of differences between how men handle conflict and women handle conflict?
Anybody ever hear, boys will be boys? Is that a handling conflict?
I know I'm in trouble when I ask my wife what's wrong and she says nothing.
Okay.
Nothing's wrong. That's
Okay.
when I know it's bad.
Okay. Anybody else?
Carol's in here. Carol, you got anything?
Oh, we've got somebody up front, agency.
I know. That's why I'm like, I know Carol's laying low today. Who we got?
Right there in the front.
So we actually discussed both sides that we dealt with. In some conflicts, because of our nurturing side, we're able to de-escalate a situation. But at the same time, when we're assertive, we're marked as difficult to work with or emotional in the situation, but all we're doing is drawing boundaries and speaking just like typical men would speak in that situation, but now we're being difficult.
Let's go back for a second to the polls that we took and think of some of the words that came up for men and women. So if you're in a work situation and you've got a conflict that you need to handle, and I'm going to throw this out to Mars with one of your female counterparts, are you more or less likely to handle that conflict direct on if you're automatically in your mind thinking they're going to get emotional? And I don't want to deal with tears and I don't want to deal with the emotion here at work. So I'm just now going to do a stereotypical man, just ignore it, avoid it, and not even bring it up. And so now nothing was resolved. So again, some of those unconscious stereotypes when it comes to conflict. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to mix things up. And the whole point of this today is to all come together onto one planet. So for our next workshop, we need you to get up and we need you to switch seats so that we can diversify the groups. So you've talked through things as all men, you talked through things as all women. Now let's see how we handle this one when we've got a mixed company. So switch around, get it diversified. Guess we're. Ladies, we gotta split up. We're,
The ladies were already at Earth. That's what they felt.
well,
The men were so accommodating.
so we just need groups of at least 2 and 3 of each man and women. Yeah, so we can't just have Doug in here with 47 women.
Question is, what is better?
Yeah.
Being logical or being emotional, and why?
So think of a situation, think of what we've talked about. Now as a mixed gender group, let's workshop. What do we think is better in terms of handling a situation, being logical or being emotional, and why? Make one up.
All right. All right, everybody ready to bring it back? We're back on Earth now, right? So who wants to share?
Well, first agency, let me ask, did anybody notice anything different? Because agency and I did. Anybody notice anything different doing a workshop mixed groups? Yes, sir. Yeah, I noticed that too, sir.
Carol's up.
So we had a conversation about it, my favorite thing, it depends, right? So if Chris and I had a message, if we were in 2 meetings, the first meeting was primarily men, and we said the exact same things in the exact same way, it's likely he would come off looking very assertive and putting things forward. I would look like the problem child being aggressive. Then we go into a meeting that's primarily women, it would, in saying the exact same things the exact same way, and it would probably, we'd walk out in reverse. I would look like assertive, leading, he'd look like the problem child. And then I also posed to this group, and I don't know, I thought we were getting questions, but I said, why do I have to choose? Why can't I be emotionally logical?
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. Before we get any more agency, what was your observation?
My observation right off was it was immediately more collaborative. If you noticed, everybody started engaged and everybody started talking. It was way more chatter than it was when y'all were separated. So you probably had way more responses too. I saw people weighing in and everything. So way more collaborative.
Yes. Anybody else? Logical versus emotional that came up in your workshop?
Don't do it. We're here for it.
Okay, so when we were talking about this, and in my mind, I don't see where there's ever any reason that you just be straight logical with anyone, unless it's men talking to men. Because women, we don't interact with each other that way because we're natural nurturers, and when we talk, if we go high like that, that means that, hey, I finna take my wig off and it's finna be on. And so we're already there. We were already there before we got started. But more often than not, our focus is when someone has an issue, we don't go to escalation at all. So we're constantly going to be empathetic, but logical. We're going to state the facts, but empathetic in the response. But I asked Doug, is there ever a conversation when 2 men are talking that is all logical all the time? Do they share empathy with one another? And what would that look like for them? Because most men don't show emotion to other men like that unless you like really know them. You ain't gonna roll up on Rollo working on a ventilator and say, "How are you feeling?" or "Is all well?" You know, when it's a conflict situation. So I think that a lot of men can do the logic only, but not really the emotion only, because then it can be like, you're a girl. But women are different. We're naturally going to go with both sides. We can give you the logic of anything and be assertive in what we're trying to say, but we're also going to ride the wave of empathy because we already see what a person's dealing